Hello, hello. I am with Crystal Shell today from Hello Guest Screen. Now, I know you're questioning what is Hello Guest Screen, and so was I when I first learned about it. But if you're in the Airbnb industry, if you are a vacation rental owner, if you're VRBO, or you're a short term rental operator, you're going to want to hang close to your seats today. Maybe grab a pen and paper and take some notes because today Crystal is going to explain to us what Hello Screen Get is and how it applies to your Airbnb and how it can actually help you with ratings and reviews, help create a better user experience, all the things, right? So I'm really excited that we have Crystal on our show today. Please help me welcome Crystal Shell. How are you today?
Hi, I'm great. And thank you, Angela, for having me. I'm so excited to be on your podcast. So I really appreciate the opportunity.
Well, thank you for joining us today. When I heard about Hello Guest Screen and I heard that you were going to be able to come on our show today, I have so many questions. And I know a lot of our B&B owners do as well, because we are in an age right now where technology is helping us run our businesses. And this is a way that we can do better with the business that we have as a B&B owner or a short-term rental owner. And so
Absolutely.
if you will, let's just dig right in and let's hear how you got involved in this industry, the Airbnb industry, and then with Hello Guest Screen. So tell us who you are, tell us how you came into this space, and then I want to hear all about why you're so passionate about Hello Guest Screen.
Okay. Well, as you said, my name is Crystal Shell. I'm the founder of Hello Guest Screen. And I got into Hello Guest Screen because I first started my first Airbnb about 15 years ago. My daughter was in college and I was trying to find some type of supplemental income to take care of her books and all the other expenses that come with that. And I just loved it. I've always loved hospitality and serving, but my background is technology as a systems engineer for 20 years. And then beyond that, having technology and hospitality kind of wrap itself together. That's where Hello Guest Screen was kind of born. So Airbnb's 15 years superhost. I've never missed a quarter of getting the superhost status.
Whoa.
We now have 9 properties. We have 11 total, but 2 long-term and 9 Airbnbs. So just super busy. And like everybody else, I was always looking for something new. What's the latest and greatest to come out? And I would go on Pinterest, Etsy, you name it, just trying to find something that would set my Airbnb apart. And so I just remembered younger going into nice resorts and hotels where they would have your family name on the screen. They would welcome you. And even as a kid, you'd just be so excited to see your name on the TV. And so I just started kind of letting those wheels go in motion and think, how nice would it be for somebody? Because even if it's not like a 5-star or 4-star hotel, you won't see it in hotels. And I realize why. It's extremely expensive because it has to be integrated with the reservation system. With this, you don't. So I started thinking about it. And again, technology is my background. So we started developing it. It took us 2 years to develop it. And it was just trying to get all the bells and whistles, trying to think of everything, which really wasn't that difficult for me because I've been in this line of work for 15 years and I know what makes a superhost and what superhosts look for. So that's how we crossed over into Hello Guest Screen, and we just launched in December. And all of the beta testing we did with Superhost, they all was like, I want it. Can I keep it right now? And we're like, no, because it's not launched yet. We'll let you know. So we knew we were really onto something.
So let's go back for a second because you mentioned Superhost. And if you are new to the Airbnb industry, or if you are just watching the replay, or if you're joining us live today, you might be asking like, hey, I don't know what a Superhost is and I don't want to seem stupid. So I'm going to ask, can you explain to us what a Superhost is and what they have to do to maintain that Superhost status? Because you said you've never missed a quarter without that status. And I know how incredibly hard that is. So tell us what that is and how you become a Superhost.
Okay, so you start out your first quarter, let's just say it's your first 3 months of listing your property, and you're just the host. So with that 3 months, you need to get like 4.9 5 stars for every single reservation for that 3 months. And when you first start out, you have to have like a minimum of 10 nights. And these things kind of change, but they have their criteria. But the gist of it is to make sure your property is above all standards, cleaning, quality. The pictures need to be representative of what you put on the platform, all of those things. And so with that, they basically rate you every 3 months to see if you're still staying on top of taking care of your guests and keeping your property as it should be. So that is what we've been able to do quarter after quarter after quarter on all properties that we have. Now, I will tell you one thing is the way we got down to 4.9, you do have these guests where I had one guy to give me a flat 4, not a 4.5, because the battery in the smoke alarm, the chirping started, but he never reached out. We keep extra batteries in the drawer. He never reached out. And so he didn't realize, he was very apologetic because I sent him a message and said, if you just would have told me, I would have told you where the extra batteries were, or I could have sent somebody over to change it for you. And so you always have those guests that really just don't realize that 4 stars they're giving you is kind of knocking you down really, a lot. And it can be something so minor. So it is very difficult, and we do pride ourselves on it because, of course, the cleaning is the number one thing. That will drop your score faster than anything. And all of our cleaners and stuff, we know like a hair or something like that is the kiss of death. So, that's one of the probably largest quality attributes of being a super host. And once you've done that, they put the banner on there and your property shows up in the top 10% that's shown first.
For those of you that are watching on YouTube, you will see that both Crystal and I have our hair pulled back really tight and gelled to our heads. And it's because we both understand what a loose hair can do inside the B&B industry, right? So when you go into a property, we know that genetically, all of us lose about 150 hairs a day off of our heads. And we, neither me nor Crystal, can control when those hairs fly out of our heads, right? They're going to get lost at different times of the day. And so as a cleaner, where the rating and review is everything, you want to make sure that while you're cleaning, because here's the thing, you go to, make the bed, one of your own hairs could fall off into the bed. You didn't sleep in the bed. Right. And it could be completely clean linens that you're putting on the bed right now for the first time. One of your hairs falls off your head into the bed, and suddenly somebody pulls back the pillow. There's a hair, and then they're not staying there. And you can lose an entire night's stay over that and get terrible ratings and reviews. So to be a super host, it doesn't mean just gluing your hair down. But that is one of the things that is great. But you have such high standards you have to live by. And what Crystal is saying is this is just not a one-time thing. This is every quarter they rate you on those standards. And so I'm really curious to know, after all these years, and then you add multiple properties to that, how on earth did you stay a super host? This is amazing. Tell me more.
Well, see, I've always been big on quality and processes. It's just who I am. So what we did years ago is when someone checks out, our cleaner goes in, they clean up. We have a quality control person that goes in after them. Now, they both have checklists. So when the cleaner leaves and sends that checklist, it'll have notes on there. Hey, this light bulb is out. Hey, this, the remote battery was dead. She sends it back to our management office, and it goes to the manager and the QC person. And that triggers 2 things. 1, you can get on over there and QC it. She's done. And number 2, here's a list of things that she noticed that definitely need to be fixed, repaired, or changed out. And then, of course,
QC is quality control.
Quality control.
Right?
Yeah, quality control. Yeah, sorry. So on that list, he already has his other things. Look behind the bathroom door, look on both sides of the shower curtain. It's things that would slow your normal cleaner down, but things that a quality control person can go through and be done in 30 minutes. So once that's done, it's very hard to drop a ball with 2 sets of eyes on that. And that's what we've been doing from the beginning. And we get that list and it's taken care of.
And from the cleaner's standpoint, I want the cleaner to go through and do all of those checks themselves. So that when the quality control person comes, there is nothing for them to report. Nothing. We want to make
Right.
sure that everything is seamless. Do you ever get to a point where a quality control person follows a cleaner and they're like, that person never makes me do anything different. I don't need to go in and check after that person, or do they go in no matter what?
They just about always find something, but it's really generally not the cleaner's responsibility when they find
Mhm.
something, because if we were to put that entire list on them, they would be in there for 4 or 5 hours. All of our homes are 3 bedrooms. Some of them have 2 living rooms, large kitchens. So we just want them to clean, 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 and not worry about turning on every lamp, turning on every TV, making sure the streaming is working, those types of things.
I got
So
it.
yeah, so it's generally always something there.
I love this. Okay, so now you got two sets of eyes on the property. Now, what happens when a guest comes? How does a guest interact with it? They're walking in, they open the door. This is their first opportunity to see your property. And of course, it looks like the pictures on the internet because that's part of being a super host. What
Right.
next?
So they come in, and always we want the place to smell nice. I mean, that's
Mm,
just a given. We want, and I'll tell you a little trick that we do. The little Febreze cartridges, we stick those in with the air filter and then close the door on it, and it blows throughout the whole house. You can set the setting before you put it in there. So our houses always smell amazing, and they last, anywhere from a month to 2 months. But
mm,
that's the first thing. Then the second thing is, just like when I travel, the first thing I do, if I have my kids with me who are now adults, they're screaming, "What's the Wi-Fi? What's the Wi-Fi?" And I'm like, "Let me just put this stuff up." And it's like, "What's the Wi-Fi?" And you have to, let me get in the app. And well, that's taken care of. All when the guests come in, the first thing generally they do after putting their bags away is turn the TV on.
mm.
So when they turn the TV on, they have this beautiful display of the property. They have "Welcome Shell family. We're so glad you're here." There's the Wi-Fi name and password right on the TV screen. There's the 5-day forecast in the lower right-hand corner. So you don't have to wonder, how am I going to dress tomorrow if I'm here on
Mm.
business? And then it has the time and date, of course, but then it has the check-in, check-out time, which to me is critical, because probably our biggest problem with guests is on the day of saying, "Oh, I thought checkout was at 11 instead of
Mm.
10 a.m." And
Mhm.
that triggers everything, a delay for everything. So the cleaners are calling and saying, "There's still a car here in the garage," and blah, blah, blah. So that's that's what they see. And every time they turn the TV on, they get this beautiful display.
So every time they turn the TV on, it reappears.
Every time they turn the TV on, that's what they see. And if they hit the home button, then it goes to, of course, regular TV. So it's just like seeing the apps when you first turn the TV on, but instead of seeing that, you see the Hello Guest screen, you have the reminder, you have the Wi-Fi, you have a streaming video, which is my favorite feature of all, is the YouTube video.
Okay, so
Because
tell me about the video. What's on the video?
Okay, so you can go to YouTube and find, say, Huntsville, Alabama, and then
Mhm.
you want to see what's going on in the area. So we have a lot of families come here for Space and Rocket Center and things like that. Well, in that video, it will have like the top 10 family activities to do in Huntsville, and it's streaming. So even if you don't catch it on the first time, and you go to home and you're watching TV, when you turn the TV back on, maybe you go to dinner, maybe you see a restaurant within that streaming video, because you can put whatever video you want on there, but maybe it has the top 10 places to eat in Huntsville. Well, when you come back to turn that TV on, you're still constantly seeing activities, and you say, "We can do that tomorrow," or "We can
Mm.
do that this day." So So that's the sweet spot. And also, if you wanted to put your own personal video on there, like me telling quirky things about my house, I know I've stayed in some places and they've said like, make sure you you push on the refrigerator door really well because it sticks, or everybody's got something kind of quirky about their house that they would like to tell you personally with an introduction. You can put your own personal video on there as well. So, or you can put a guidebook. It's just kind of the sky is the limit. Whatever is on YouTube that you want to put on that video, it's going to just stream. And you can sit there and watch it or go ahead and watch
So
TV.
so it pulls from YouTube, whatever you've programmed in to do that.
Exactly. It pulls in from YouTube. And that's why the setup is so easy, because you've chosen what video you want to stream consistently. You can also turn it the volume on or have it muted. You can turn it on loop or not loop. You put it on loop, it's really best, right? Because they might just go ahead and go to watch regular TV. But the next time they turn it on, they might be walking around doing something else and then hear something that, hey, we should try that. I didn't know Huntsville had this type of dog park or whatever the case may be. So to me, that is like the best feature of the whole thing.
I loved your idea about giving instructions about the house, because I know that lots of B&B owners have their own set of house rules, and it's little
Right.
things about where do you put your trash when you're done with your trash, or what is supposed to happen. Like you said, the back door sticks and you go to open it up and the weather stripping has just been replaced. It's a little bit, just give the door a good push or something like
Right,
that.
right.
Or
Or
the
even the
mic.
patio cushions, where are the patio cushions for the outdoor furniture,
Uh-huh.
that type of thing. So, yeah.
So a little video like that kind of explained everything, like, hey, we respect you. So this is a no smoking house. We don't smoke inside the house. But if you do smoke, there's a little ashtray outside in the back of the property, and that's where everything goes. So
Right.
that, the guests are familiar with the house rules in a way that's informative and entertaining. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And also, if you have, so checkout instructions are critical, right? But a lot of people who stay at Airbnbs never go back to the app. Even if you send them a message through there, hey, how's
Uh-huh.
it going? Is everything okay with your stay? You'll, 50% of the time, you never even get a response. Once they've checked in, they're not going back to the app. They don't have any,
Mhm.
unless they need to reach out to you. So having checkout instructions there a lot of times just kind of falls on deaf ears. So you can put a barcode on this screen. You can put it on or off. Most features you can turn on or off. If you don't want the video streaming, you can turn it
Mhm.
off and just have a full, beautiful background. So you can also do the same with with a QR code, and
Mm.
it automatically generates the QR code for you. When we were beta testing, I had a super host say, I just couldn't get the barcode to work. And I was like, he said, I wanted to put my checkout instructions from my own site there. And I just couldn't get it. And I said, are you trying to create a barcode? And he said, yeah. I said, no, you just copy the link. It creates the barcode for you, frames it out beautifully and everything on the screen. So it's just
Can you
super easy.
can you have more than one barcode?
No, you can only have one.
Only one,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, you
And
can only have one.
can you have a different screen, or is there a way to do a separate screen, like house rules, scan this, for checkout instructions, scan this,
Yeah.
for places to eat tonight, scan this, and have like a little directory,
Yeah,
based
and
on.
that would be you putting your whole guidebook on there. So
Oh,
that
okay.
barcode would have checkout instructions, places to eat, um, your 911 information, that you should provide every guest, like the closest hospital, the closest clinic, that type of thing. So all of that can be fed from that one barcode.
Oh, I love that. How
Yeah.
useful is that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It turned out I'm really, really pleased with it, and everybody loves it.
All right, so tell me about Hello Guest Screen. Tell me a little bit about this. If I were an Airbnb owner, is this I got to have 9 properties in order for this to make sense?
No, no, you could only have one property, and that's the sweet spot. Is one screen is $14.99 per screen. That's less than 50 cents a day. You could literally raise your nightly rate $1 and more than cover it. And then you get up to 5 screens for $21.99. Again, you could increase your nightly rate $1 and it will cover the expense. So you might want 5 screens. Like I have 3 bedrooms. All of our properties are 3 bedrooms. So if I wanted it in the living room, the master, and the other 2 bedrooms, that would be 4 screens. So that's what I would be paying for. If I just want it in the master, in the living room, then that would be 1 screen. But most people are wanting the living room and the master, and then they say, well, I might as well go ahead and put it in the other bedrooms as well. So it's just a really inexpensive thing to do. And it is a subscription. It runs off of your laptop or your phone. And it's super easy to set up. So easy to set up.
Can I ask a trick question? Do you take trick questions?
I do.
What if a realtor were to sign up with this service, and for the house that they're selling, they put a videotape of that house on the computer screens and TV screens in the house, so that when people come through for the showings and stuff, that it pops up on the screen, like instead of it just being a blank TV screen, that there's a picture of the house that's for sale, and then it has different features of the house. Like now the video, as it's progressing, it's flipping through the bathroom and the kitchen and the dining room and the outdoor patio area and all the things. Is that a possibility, or am I making stuff up?
It's very scary that you said that, because it ended up being bigger for realtors. And I'll tell you why. One realtor came over, we did an advertisement in their book, nothing about realtors, but she's a realtor. And I showed it to her, and she used the Fire Stick. And so we created her a screen because she has a listing for the developer. Putting it on the Fire Stick, she actually did a commercial, and I'll share it with you after the podcast. She did a commercial. She loved it so much and sent it to me, like a week ago. And I was like, this is amazing. But that's exactly what she did. She downloaded the app on the Fire Stick, created the screen, had the home on there, her picture, the realty company, and then the streaming video was the I don't want to say the developers, all of their information, the different drone videos, and all. It was beautiful. And so from that, other realtors who are coming to bring their clients to see the home, they're like, I need you to introduce this at our broker meeting. So we've got like 4 demos for brokers, because I guess they want the brokers to pay for it for the realtors.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what they're using it for. And they just take the Fire Stick out, so they don't have to leave it up on screens that really don't belong to them.
But here's the thing though. What if part of the homeowner, because we're in the process of selling our home right now. And so one of the things that was really important to me is I had to leave computers and televisions at my house during the showings. You get a call and they're like 10 minutes, they're on their way over. And you're like, whoa. So you grab your to-go bag and you bolt, right?
Right.
But then you just left your computers and everything up. And you don't want people messing around with them. But you've got all of this real estate, and I say real estate, pun intended, that is available to you to do something just like that, where every screen could have pictures of your house rotating through and showing, the fireplace, and then showing like fun features of like, this is the bonus room, or this is the guest bedroom, or, things like that would then allow for, the homeowner, whoever the buyer is.
Right.
As they're coming through the house going, oh, wow, check it out. I haven't seen that room yet. I'm looking forward to it. Or like you said, the neighborhood or the development, or, here's what happens in this city,
Right. Yeah, that's great. And that's we didn't think about the actual person selling the home, but that's a great idea.
Even if it was only like, there are homes in my area that have been on the market for 2 or 3 months. And so if that has, if they only paid for 1 subscription and then it goes month after month, if the house hasn't sold, then you still have, hey, here's our sales page. It still continues until the house is sold.
Right, right. Yeah, it's a great idea. And we went into a home for a developer. It was a, what do you call it? I want to say demo home, but that's not right. A custom
Like
home
a model
where
home or
a
something.
model home, that's it.
Uh-huh.
And it had a beautiful kitchen, big island, and it had so much cabinetry and hardware that you could choose from. That
Mhm.
the kitchen looked junky. And so the realtor said we could have had all this hardware and stuff streaming their options on the screen and not taken away from a big beautiful kitchen by having 10 different types of cabinet doors and hardware.
Mhm.
And so yeah, the realtor market has kind of just snuck up on us, and yeah, they're wanting it really badly. So we that's next.
I love it. Well, the Airbnb industry is really interesting because it is very competitive, and what you're competing with is hotels. And like you said,
Right,
the higher end hotels have something similar to this, and the lower end don't. So by
right,
setting yourself apart from all of your competitors in the market, it's an opportunity that you could get better ratings and reviews simply from having something that gave more information, it made it easy to find, it made the guests not feel stupid because they hadn't well, I didn't go back to my app or I didn't know where to find
right,
the batteries that made the chirping sound go away.
right, right. And I've had so many people tell me, if you could have seen me on the floor taking a picture of the bottom of the modem because the Wi-Fi password was gone. And
Ah,
it's just like, seriously, or like you said, they don't know that it's in the app or it doesn't work or whatever the case may be.
uh-huh.
It's just, yeah, it's really, really beneficial, and it does elevate. And if you do have some issue, a hair or maybe a bowl that wasn't so clean, this is that type of amenity that will really give you some forgiving grace
Mhm.
for some of those, for something else that maybe wasn't so perfect.
I love that. Hey, we got a question that came in, and Jennifer Holland says, "Does it work the same on any smart TV, i.e., Roku?"
Okay, so great question. It works on in any TV that has the Amazon App Store or Google Play Store. Roku does not have the Amazon App Store on it. So you would have to use a Fire Stick or a Google Chromecast. And sometimes it's almost better because when you use your Fire Stick or your regular TV, your Amazon account information and stuff, you don't want your guests to really have access to,
Mm,
but just about every place that I've stayed in does. And I'm like, this is so dangerous. And of course, I'm inspecting TVs now. Every place I go, it's what I do. But you can put it on a Fire Stick and let them run and stream off of the Fire Stick. So yeah, if it has Amazon App Store or the Google Play Store, you don't need a device. Roku, LG are the two that you will need a device.
Well, I love the fact that you mentioned the location, like, "Hey, here's what's happening in town, and here are some restaurants, and here are some, events or things that are going on, play yards or amusement parks or, attractions."
Right.
But one of the things I think would be really important to have in this lineup somewhere that would be easy to find on the TV, are restaurants that stay open late. I know one of the places that many of the places I've gone, I'm in a different time zone. And so while it's late for them, it's only lunchtime for me. And I'm like, man, I am hungry. Where's the food?
Right.
Oh, this town closes down at 9 o'clock at night. There's no food. You're like, what?
Right. Yeah.
Does this town have DoorDash? Like, what happens? But that
Yeah,
would
it's
be
the same
really
here.
great information.
Yeah, yeah, it would. That's why I said, it's really like the sky is the limit with this, with what you can put on there, and the screen still displays so beautifully.
Mhm.
And people look at it. The biggest thing that we're having to overcome is people thinking that it is so complicated to set up. Um, we are actually offering free setup for people for a limited time.
Wait,
And
what? Say
yes,
that again. You've got free
yes,
setup
we're
for a
offering free
limited
setup.
time.
For a limited time. So if you go to our website, right at the top in the banner, it says for a limited time, we'll set it up for free. And it says, click here. When you click there, you have 8 things that you have to provide. And that's it. And the 8 may seem like a lot, but it's this. Do you know your check-in, check-out time? We need that. We need the zip code of where your property is, because that's what drives the 5-day forecast. We need your Wi-Fi name and password. The only thing that could be remotely complicated is we need your background image, which is usually your cover shot on Airbnb or whatever platform. Upload that one image for us. And we have a drop down of YouTube links for every major city, but you can copy and paste that on the form. When you give us that form of those 8 things, it takes less than 10 minutes. It takes us less than 5 minutes to set it up.
And so you can set it up remotely. Is that what I'm
hearing?
hearing?
We will set it up. Yeah, we set it up. Then like the next day, we send you a message, hey, your screen is ready. And we put a Calendly link in there. So you click on that Calendly link. It's a 15-minute call. And what we do on that call is take the 5 minutes to show you how we set it up. See if you want any adjustments made, because depending upon the picture, you might want it lighter or darker. You might want the transparency to be a little lighter or darker. So we make those couple of adjustments. We ask you, do you want your video to have sound? So we can turn that on or off, which we ask you on that form. That's one of the 8 questions. Do you want your video muted or not? So, and then the last 5 minutes of the call is how to schedule your guest names, how to personalize it. And that is the simplest part, because you're just putting in Smith family or welcome Crystal, and then you're putting in the check-in, check-out date.
Are there any ways that you could customize it beyond that, instead of just the customer's name? Like, let's say the family had small children, and that there was like a nearby daycare center that would not trigger unless you added in that field that small children were part of this group. Like if senior adults showed up and they didn't have children with them and were not bringing grandchildren, but it was a family that had 3 small toddlers. Maybe the parents wanted to go out and explore something and they wanted to drop their kids off at a kindercare or something and I say kindercare, it could be any daycare center for the day that allowed for drop-in children. And you just drop the children off. Here's where that happens. And they could go, wait a second, we could go to some estate sales and do some fun things while our kids are being watched for 3 or 4 hours.
Right. And so where we would have that is on the main design template, which would be on that barcode. When you're doing an individual guest, say that a person said, hey, I'm coming, me and my wife we just want to get away, a romantic getaway. So generally people put that in a message. Well, when we go in there we'll put welcome Jane and John. Then we'll come over here and change their entire background. We have Valentine's Day background, Thanksgiving, sympathy, whatever it is for that one particular guest. And it will show up and go away when they leave. And so we have a drop down for you to customize each individual person, or let it stay at the auto default, which is your basic message that says, thank you for staying at T's place. We're so glad you're here, blah, blah, blah. So the customization for each individual person, is there.
I love that. That is so cool. All right. So what kinds of things can we add? I know you say that the sky is the limit, but what kinds of things are typically added to a hello guest screen that would make the customer feel like they get me? They totally get me. They know who I am.
Well, like, for example, on my Airbnb and most people's Airbnb, you require a message before booking. They have to give you some type of 1 sentence, 2 sentence. So if somebody's coming in, hey, my daughter just had a grandbaby, I'm coming in for 3 days. So you have that information. So we would go in, when we put their name in, check in, check out, we would go and have some baby screen in the background. We could, in their greeting, we could put, hey, here's some places that have, newborn baby stuff, whatever. The greeting is just for them. So you can put it in the body of the text. You can change the background. You can go find a YouTube video of best baby places to buy, you know, custom whatever. You can go and put that, and that's only going to stream for that one particular guest.
Oh, wow. All right, so what if I want other videos to play? Like, what if I want a video of my property, and then I want a video of like restaurants that are nearby and attractions and things like that? And it might not be the same video. Do I piece those videos together and then make one video that goes in the link, or how does that work?
Well, you would choose like your default screen video,
Uh-huh.
and that's what you would play if no one was staying in your property. So let's just say you had a last minute booking and you're like, I don't have time to type their name in and their check in, check out. Even though it takes 5 minutes, we all get busy and it's like, I don't have 5 minutes. So that default screen is still going to have welcome, all of those things. So it is the customization individual that you can change like specifically for them. So if you want 2 separate videos, of course, you can't have 2 streaming at the same time. You would
Right.
just choose which one you wanted up there when they first walk in, either on the default, and that's what's going to be there. Or if it's something specific to a guest, you'll choose a different YouTube video for them. But you can't have 2 playing at the same time, but you can find one that's all inclusive or create one with that's all inclusive.
So let me ask you this question then. If I have a subscription for 5 screens in my Airbnb, let's
Mhm.
suppose I got a huge Airbnb, can I have a different one on every screen, or is it the same on all the screens?
It's the same on all the screens
Okay,
in that particular property.
got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So wait a minute. No, because we just did one for a lady, Bougie Lodge. I'll give her a call out. It's amazing. It is amazing. But she is. It is the only Airbnb that I've ever stayed where I could not find one thing. Not that I go in looking, but there was nothing. She is so on top of it. I've never seen anything like it. So she, of course, had fallen in love with it. And so she's got a downstairs area, playroom, large playroom, and we had the screen there, and she wanted the sound playing there. But in the upstairs living room, she didn't want the sound playing. So you can have different pictures, different sounds in different parts of the room if you have 5 screens.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes it even more interesting and more fun. And I'm sure that as technology changes, there will be upgrades and there will be changes that are made or what have you. But
Yeah.
this is a really revolutionary concept. I mean, this is 5-star resort type stuff you're talking about.
Yeah, it is. And
And
it will elevate your property. Some people may look at it and say, well, I just have this 1 bedroom. It doesn't matter. People are people, and first impressions are lasting impressions. So, all the more reason you should get something like this if you have a 1 bedroom or a yurt or whatever it is that you can display. It's just going to elevate, whatever is there, and it makes people feel special. No way around it.
Well, one thing that is really important to know, and you mentioned it earlier about the gentleman that had the smoke alarm that went off, and that's the carbon monoxide one that chirps at you when the battery is low.
Right.
And he didn't want to feel stupid. And so he just went through his stay, however long the rest of his stay was, with chirping every couple of minutes.
Right.
How annoying is that? And then because the place was so amazing, he still gave it 4 stars. That would like drive me berserk. And I'd be like, this is a 0 place. It had chirping the whole time, and without knowing that, you think that there are birds in the chimney or something,
Right.
But and you still got 4 stars, which I'm going to say, go Crystal, But if there was a did you know screen, and this can be a video that you make even in Canva and just use the moving images that then cycle through on a regular video, save it as a video, you could, and Crystal mentioned this, and I'm not really techno savvy myself, but I'm just thinking my wheels are spinning. But I'm thinking if you were to create a did you know and you got a screen there, did you know if you hear chirping, it's not a bird in the chimney. No, and there's an X. It's maybe the carbon monoxide battery is dead and here's where to find them. And then did you know, if you close the microwave door and it starts humming like it's on, it's not. It just needs to be closed a little tighter. Yay, and then did you know? And you could have like these a little, cycle of these tips. And then
Right.
after the end of the tips, it could then start a video because you sandwiched it all into one great big long video, where
Mhm.
then the video of check out our town, and our town has been around for 200 years or whatever it is. And we have bicycle trails and we have this and that, da 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 da. Da. Did you know as you leave the property, we have 2 bicycles that are sitting there for your use while you're here at the property? And then it goes through some fun things that you can use to interact. Did you know if it's past 8 o'clock at night and you're hungry, you can go here?
Go ahead.
And then it cycles into, pictures of your property.
Right, right.
Here's where
Because
to take
when
out your
people,
trash.
yeah, because when people turn that on subconsciously, they're not watching TV yet. It's just the first thing
Uh-huh.
you do, and then you're walking around getting your luggage, but you're listening. So
Uh-huh.
that is what is key. And another thing, as far as the cleaning, I wish that I would have done this before the pandemic, because we print out these really beautiful books for all of
Uh-huh.
our properties, and we have to change them out about every 2 months, and they're
Mhm.
expensive. They're
Mhm.
beautiful color, they're glossy, but people let their kids get to them, or they get a coffee stain, or whatever the case may be. There's no need for that anymore. You've got the most beautiful book right on your TV that you don't have to worry about germs, sanitation, reprinting, any of that stuff. So it will save you money there as well, because most people have some notebook, some book there in their property, and it's just not necessary.
I shouldn't tell you this because this is kind of like a tattletale on me, but let me just go ahead since we're here. When I go to a place to stay, a B&B or a hotel or something like this, where I'm gone for the night and it's not my home, the very first thing I do is I go in and I scoop up all that stuff. It's the little placards and the little tent cards and the beautiful books and the all the stuff, and I put it in a safe place where I'm not going to trip, spill anything on it. I'm not going to ruin it, and
Right.
it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. You can see it if the cleaning person comes in; they're going to see that it's there, but
Right.
that I didn't steal it or something. But that and then I never look at it again. I just move everything over, and I'm like, okay, that's for the next guest. The end.
Yeah.
And so no, I'm guilty of that. I don't read where the restaurants are and where what is the in-room service, or that there is no in-room service, or that I'm in a secluded B&B out in the middle of nowhere and the nearest town is 52 miles away or whatever.
Right.
I
Right.
don't know those things. Then it comes time for dinner and I'm like, whoa, where's all the places to eat? And then I
Right.
start like looking on the internet, like restaurants near me or whatever, and hoping it picks up on GPS somewhere. That would
Right.
be awesome to have on your screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, you just got here, but before you leave, while you're out and about tonight, make sure you pick up some goodies because the nearest store is 52 miles away. You're gonna go,
Right.
whoa,
Yeah.
while we're out and about, let us grab those snacks and some extra water.
Right. Right. And it's so kind of crazy when you go to places, when you go to an Airbnb yourself, 9 times out of 10, we always eat at their recommended places.
Uh-huh.
I mean, because who knows better than them? And, if I go to a place and it was subpar, I'm going to go back and tell the host, I don't
Mhm.
think I would put this on my recommendation list anymore. I mean, I let them know, and they might say, yeah, this is the third time I've heard this, management changed over, or whatever the case may be. So we had a guy from the tourism board who said, hey, you could allow your host to monopolize this barcode. And I'm like, do tell. And he said, because restaurants love Airbnbs because they get a different set of people 2 or 3 times a week. And those people are coming generally with a recommendation. So
Mhm.
if you can have it on the barcode or on the video, they could get like 10%. You keep 5%, the hotel keeps 5%. Then the hosts are now monopolizing on when their guests go to these top 5 restaurants. And I never thought about that. If you live in a town, you might go and eat once every couple of months. But when you have guests from everywhere coming in every 2 or 3 days, it's all new to them, right? So you're getting 2 or 3 visits a week from this one property. And so he's wanting to, I didn't think about that, but they were already trying to figure out how they could make sure the Airbnb host recommend their restaurants and how they can monopolize it.
Well, let me ask you this question. And I don't know what the legalities are, or maybe you're going to go, don't do that and don't say that on your show. But what if you went to, and I'm just making this up as I go, okay, so I'm brainstorming, but what if we went to, let's say that I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I went to the 10 restaurants near me. And I said, do you want to have a little ad on my video that's running on my screen inside my B&B? And it's only going to cost you X amount of dollars per month. And I charged them for that. Then I made a little video that had their ad, the next person's ad, the next person's ad, and I made that be my one video. So in my little Did You Know video, I add all the restaurants in there. Then you get a peek inside the restaurant, and you get to see the chef, and you get to see them flipping tortillas, and you can almost smell the aroma of the whatever it is coming through the screen. And as you see them at the grill putting in the wood fire pizzas, and suddenly I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. And then that runs on a cycle, and you just charge them a monthly subscription to pay for your subscription for Hello Guest Screen.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's what they were trying to get, but it was kind of a coupon book type of thing. But since the barcode can be created for the 10 restaurants you've signed on, then it's a way to gauge these people who are coming in came from my Airbnb because I have my own barcode. So,
I see. So that's actually even a step beyond.
Yeah.
Okay. Another way to do that is to create an affiliate program with those B&Bs, or not with the B&B, but with the restaurants. So you go to the restaurant and you say, for every person I send you, will you send me a kickback fee? So if they come in and they spend $20 for a meal, I get, $1 of that or something like that. And then they're like, yeah, that's okay. And then you send them with, and maybe you have the coupons or you have the B&B code. Maybe there's something at your property where they take a picture of it. And then when they get there, they scan it, and then you get the commission or something.
That's exactly how
I like this. I like this. This is working well for me.
So we got a lot of stuff in the works right now. It's been wonderfully crazy.
One thing that I want to add while we're talking about what to add to your Hello Guest screen, because as we're talking about this, I mean, I don't have a B&B right now for sale. I'm just selling my own home. But I can see the usefulness of this really, really quickly. I mean, for all of your house rules, for nearby restaurants, for nearby events, for the weather, like you mentioned, for special occasions, whether it's a romantic getaway, whether it's a sympathy event, whether it's grandparents coming into town, whether it's a family reunion, high school reunion. I mean, there are so many different opportunities that this would make sense for any property that has overnight stays. I mean, this is amazing. But one of the things that I think we could add on there, which has been useful for me, especially in a different country, is when they say, oh, there are little rides available, like the little Segways or the rental bikes that are the electric bikes or the electric scooters, or any of those programs that use the favorite apps where you go out of your room and then there's like a little scooter and you hop on it and you scan your phone and it connects you, and now you can drive 4 miles to the nearest place instead of getting an Uber or making your car go out of parking, and now you got to pay to come back in the parking and all the things. And I can't tell you how many times we've gone looking like, hey, where's the nearest little bike rental or whatever.
Right.
But those are awesome. And if you could include that in the app, hey, you're 2 buildings down from the nearest scooter app, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, totally.
Yeah. Because I've seen guidebooks that were, 100 pages long. I'm not kidding. And it had all it had all really pertinent information, but you got to have that stuff right there up front, that like you're talking about in a city that has, the scooters and stuff like that to rent. When people come to those cities, they want to know where it is and they want to use it. So
There's a weird phenomenon, but there are, and I'm in America. In America, there are a lot of common stores that I don't know why. I wish this wasn't the case, and I hate to admit it, but it's like every town I go in, I end up at those same stores. And it could be like a Costco or a Dollar Tree, or you forgot something. And so what's your go-to? Because you know that store pretty well near where you live. And so you're going to go there and just pick up a pair of flip-flops because you forgot them while you're on the trip, or you're going to pick up a cheap pair of sunglasses, or oh, you realize that you were in charge of a dinner at this event, and you're like, oh, no way, I don't know how to serve 40 people without going to Costco in this weird town. And
Right, right,
to have a list of those places, right? These are the places you're going to end up at, whether you mean to or not. Here's how to
right.
get there.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a question that came in. This is from Jennifer
Okay.
Holland, and she says, what is Crystal's favorite Febreze vent scent?
Linen, linen, because it's not overpowering. I like the Hawaii scent, Hawaiian tropics, but I like the linen or the ocean, those two, because they're just light enough to where it's not offensive.
Hmm. Can you talk to us about offensive smells inside a B&B?
I don't like to walk in and smell pine sol, even though
Mm,
I know it means it was cleaned.
mhm,
I also don't like to walk in and you can smell scents where you can kind of smell the alcohol in it. It's almost
mhm.
an overwhelming, not burning sensation, but it's just that strong that you're like, okay, and I don't have allergies at all. But it's just that type of scent that's just overpowering. And I think the lighter the scent, the better. And a lot of people disagree and just say, "Oh, I love to smell Fabuloso and Pine Sol and all that." Yeah, no.
I want to add something to that for anybody that's watching the show and for the replay watchers or listeners that listen to this. I'm coming from the house cleaning side of things. And as a house cleaner, when you go into a B&B, you're not cleaning it every week or every other week. Sometimes you're cleaning it 2 or 3 times a week. And we got to clean, sanitize, and sometimes disinfect an area depending on if somebody's been sick or if there's been puke or something inside the place. Okay. So we've got to really be careful about cleaning. And when you clean with really chemical smelling type cleaning solutions, it's chemical stacked on top of chemical stacked on top of chemical. And you can go into a place and it can overpower you even with
Mhm.
cleaning smell.
Yeah,
Okay. And this is
exactly.
what she's mentioning about the Fabuloso and some of the really strong scented cleaning solutions. And so we recommend for Airbnbs the most neutral smelling cleaning solution ever so that it doesn't, check it out, it doesn't smell like anything when the cleaner leaves because clean does not have a smell. And so if you've cleaned properly, it does not have a smell. You don't want to
Yeah,
walk in and go, whoa, and your eyes turn red and your nose gets all, wigged out because you suddenly can't breathe because you've stacked all these chemicals on top of each other.
right.
So we request, just out of courtesy, we request no smoking inside a property, and we request no strong cleaning chemicals. So there are lots of really great cleaning chemicals on the market that will not blow your nose and make your eyes water and cry and all these things. Then if
Right.
you want to add in a light scent after that, no, there you go. But let's not overpower the guest with the scent when they walk in. They're like, open all the windows, open all the doors.
Right.
Art, we need ventilation in here.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, we've got just a couple minutes left. I want to ask beyond Hello Guest Screen, because this sounds like a huge addition to the B&B industry. What other tips besides the Hello Guest Screen would you give to a B&B owner that was maybe just getting started in the business to lead them towards the superhost status?
Um, to just realize this, that the small things are expected. You
Mhm.
expect when you go in an Airbnb that it's going to be clean, that the pictures are going to be representative of what you saw on the platform, that the basic plates, silverware, those things are going to be there. That's the bare essentials. You've got to, you've got to constantly think about what to do above that because and not everybody's hitting the cleanliness part, the amenities, those things. Not everybody's hitting that out of the park, but just saying that that is the baseline, that you should think of. But then if you want to do better and go above, you need to be thinking well beyond, well, my place is always clean. I have the proper amount of this, the coffees. If you provide coffee, put some flavored creamers in there. Make sure you have different sugar substitutes, those types of things. So you really have to just like look at that part of it as a baseline and then be constantly trying to think of what you can do above and beyond. And that's why with Hello Guest Screen, the really sweetest thing about it is there is no competition. There is no one else that has this. So nobody's ever seen it before, and if they have it, then it's growing like it's supposed to. But people they just love it. So that's what I would do, be constantly looking for new amenities, new tools, new resources that your guests will be impressed with.
How important do you think technology is as we move into the future with something like Hello Guest Screen?
I think it's extremely important. And like I said earlier, I wish that I had thought about this and gotten this out the door before the pandemic, because it would have been just critical, because everybody's using paper and notebooks and binders and all of that stuff for the most part. Even if they have some app, having guests to have to download an app for every single thing drives me crazy. I mean, I've gone to places where I had to download an app for the parking garage. I had to download an app to get into the building, and I had to download an app to get through the smart lock of the actual apartment. And that's 3 apps. And then when you go to anywhere in Florida, you've got at least 2 apps you're going to have to download. And with Hello Guest Screen, they don't have to, it's totally invisible to the guests. They don't download anything. You download 1 app, just like Netflix, and you're one and done. So yeah, that's just a little tidbit about that part, is just kind of keep it consistent. Don't technology is great, but I think that we are overdoing it as far as the guest being satisfied. And you already have the platform app that you have to deal with. Why do I have to download 2 other apps or 3 other apps on my phone? So technology, a blessing and a curse, right? So,
well, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I know as a guest, I myself am one of those people. I don't want to download more apps because I'm going to forget what it looked like. I'm going to forget where on my phone it is. I got enough apps on my phone anyway. But I have gone in, and after I've seen you're getting settled and unpacking and putting stuff away, the TV is running in the background and you're picking up on, and you glance over every now and again, oh, restaurants, okay. And then you see, oh, attractions, okay. And there are times I've literally gone in and just turned the TV on in hopes of finding a welcome screen that would then give me the new information that I needed. Like, hey, what is the weather today? Where am I? What is happening here in town? And what is the information? Hoping for that welcome screen. So I can see this being a huge thing for smaller properties that can either figure out a way to really quickly replace the cost of it by partnering with some local merchants, and or having a better guest experience because they provided something that none of their competitors did.
exactly.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Okay. So Crystal, tell our listeners where they can go to find you, and like what the startup costs, what the startup process is. I know you said you're doing a limited free setup remotely.
Right.
If you were going to get started today, like what happens? How does someone do this?
Okay. So you go to helloguestscreen.com and you look for the banner for the click here for limited time. We will set your first screen up for you. Once you do that, you will get an email within 24 hours saying your screen is now completed. Schedule with the Calendly link below, and then it will be a 15-minute shared screen call. We'll walk you through it, show you how easy it was. We'll show you how to schedule the guests, and you're done. We also have a free 14-day trial now. So you can try it for 2 weeks. You're not going to lose any time by signing up, and then you don't get a chance to set it up for 10 days, and then you only have 4 days left. Your free trial will start with that Calendly call. So 14 days free. We'll set up the screen for you, and you're done.
For any realtors that are out there, I encourage you to jump on the 14-day thing. Once you try it out on one of the homes, I'm 100% convinced you're going to use it on all of your homes. And then you're going to need multiple subscriptions if you got lots of homes that are being sold simultaneously. So I'm seeing so many opportunities here. What a great idea. Wow.
you. Thanks. We love it.
So technology meets genius with Crystal on our
Hospitality.
call today. With hospitality, yes. Thank you so much for joining us. I sure appreciate that, Crystal. And
right.
hello guest screen. If you
Yes.
haven't checked it out, I encourage you to do so today.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again, you guys, for joining us. This was awesome. And we will meet you again, same time, same place next week.
Thanks, Angela.